Hey everybody, this is Jewelyn. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another Thursday check-in. And I think last week Thursday's check-in I was in a bikini, and today I'm in a crop top long sleeve because I woke up and it is like kind of foggy. It feels like the marine layer is coming up the street. I'm 4 miles from the beach. It is a gorgeous day nonetheless, and I'm happy to be home. I can't believe I've been home now for about 2 weeks. And this is the longest I've been home, but by the time this video goes live, I will be back in Las Vegas and dancing for a handful of nights. So next week Thursday's video will be filmed from Las Vegas, and I'll share with you a few of my new resin pieces that I've been making, so that I have something to share with you for next week Thursday's check-in, because nothing's going on with plant life. I'm kind of interested to see what the weather is like. It's probably still, if anything, in the high 90s, if not in the hundreds. So we will be staying indoors, and I'm just gonna be plugging away editing for both of the channels. I took about 3 nights off from editing for the channels the day before my big flea market day, because I was just focused on preparing myself for this big event. If you've been keeping up with my channels and on my Instagram, you know that I launched my new little business selling all of my resin art and my plant babies at my local flea market. It's really exciting because I know a lot of resin artists, from what I take, sell a lot of their things just on Etsy, and not a lot of artists are out there in their community selling at their local flea market or at certain pop-up shops. But I want to put myself out there, especially since I'm new in this community of being a resin artist. I feel like it's the perfect opportunity for me to get out there now that the city is kind of open. The Pilates studios are not open yet, so it's been a little bit frustrating. So I'm just kind of putting my energy towards my new little business, and once the city opens up, then I can hopefully get back into a Pilates studio. In fact, I did sub to teach a private this past Saturday. But it was like super far from me. If you're in Southern California, I'm in Santa Monica, and this was in Playa del Rey, so that was like 11 miles or so away from me, and for Los Angeles that's very far, and it was outside. While I'm still waiting for the city to open up, let's see if it opens up this year, I will continue to be working on my little new adventure of my small business, and I hope to be at my local flea market next week Sunday. The thing with the flea market vibe is that you don't know if you're gonna get in. Every flea market has like different rules, but the one that I've ended at in the heart of Los Angeles, you won't know if you get in until just a couple days before, if there is any openings for daily vendors. But once you become a good standing vendor for 6 months, you become a permanent vendor, and you will more than likely get in versus a daily vendor. So it's very competitive. So hopefully I will be able to announce soon on the channels that I will be vending next week Sunday. So we'll see. I will keep you guys posted. So if you're in Southern California and couldn't make it this past Sunday, I hope you're able to join me on the next time I am out there in Los Angeles. If you are not local and want to purchase anything from me and support my channel, you can always DM me on Instagram, jewel_of_Hawaii. You can see a lot of my resin art, and I try to post there as much as I can because I have so many things to share, and that takes a while because I still have my channels, and I don't want to lose focus on that because I want to be able to main my YouTube channels and do my little resin thing on the side. So I hope you guys enjoy seeing like my stories or just watching my journey on both of the channels. I never ever thought like I would be launching a little small new business at the beginning of the year, but thanks to COVID, here I am today. And by the way, these earrings are made by me. They're so cute, monstera leaf earrings. You guys know I'm always wearing some kind of like plant inspired jewelry from my mom, so this one was made for me. So if you guys want to purchase, I have a bunch in different colors. I have like variegated monstera as well, so I'll be sharing a bunch of different styles of this particular monstera leaf earring on next week Thursday's check-in. I'll take it with me to Las Vegas, so I have something to share. I wanted to also share with you the plant of the week, which is so interesting because I know I posted on my Instagram if any of you guys ever found plants at your local grocery store. And it's interesting the type of feedback that I got. I know a lot of you guys shop for plants at your grocery store, and I believe when I was in Arizona 3 years ago for 3 months, I went plant shopping like at midnight at a grocery store, and it was interesting to see what they have. So every city, every grocery store has like different retail, and you never know what you're gonna get. And I believe at my local grocery store, you know, or just a grocery store in general, I maybe buy one plant every other year. So it's not very common for me to purchase plants because I have hundreds and hundreds of plants. It's hard for me to find a plant at the grocery store that I'm like interested in. But a couple of days ago, I came across another alocasia. As you can see, I love alocasias, and everything that is by the fountain does really well. But my variegated alocasias and things like that in the bathroom are a little bit more dramatic, so they're in there. But these ones here, they're doing really good. Here it is, my beautiful alocasia Zebrina. Look at the beautiful stems, and one leaf was dead, but I didn't care because it was unfurling a new leaf. So here it is. What do you guys think? Have you found this plant at your local grocery store, or are you even interested or fascinated with alocasias in general? I love alocasias. I've spent a lot of money on alocasias. In fact, I have one more alocasia, and you will eventually see it in a haul video that I recently got. And that was a repurchase alocasia because the first one didn't make it, and I spent a lot of money on the first one. So if you're familiar with me in the channel, you know I will purchase a plant that I like up to 3 times, and after that I will not be repurchasing it again. So hopefully my second repurchase alocasia will not die on me. And I have like a few finicky ones in the greenhouse, so hopefully this Zebrina won't give me any headaches. Sound off in the comments down below if you have the Zebrina, and do you find it to be a fairly easy plant, or do you think it's a very finicky plant and you're just not interested in alocasias? I should do an alocasia collective video. I know, I keep talking about it. I will do alocasia collective along with Philodendron collective, and then I'll go back and do re-updated collective videos on like Hoyas and Tradescantias and things like that that I've done on the channel before I go home to Hawaii. So I had to push my trip back the other day because every island has different restrictions, and here we go. The construction starts before 8 in the morning. It's been going on for like over a year now, so I always apologize for that in my videos, so please don't mind the background noise. So I was supposed to go home this month, like I should be going home next week, but unfortunately I had to push it back a month because every island has different rules about traveling into Hawaii, and I thought that the whole state of Hawaii was gonna allow negative tests so you can avoid the quarantine, but the big island where my grandma's at isn't. So I would have to quarantine the whole time I'm there before going to the other island, Oahu. So unfortunately, I'm not about that. So I'm pushing it back a whole month, and I hope that when I go home next month that all of the islands will be ready to allow negative tests so that I can go home, see my grandma, see my family. And in fact, today my grandma is flying to Oahu to see her sister, which is her last living sibling, and my grandma found out that she may be battling cancer. So send well wishes to my grandma because she's been going through a lot. Not to go off topic, but my grandma recently did lose her brother this year, and her sister that she's going to visit, her son passed away recently this year as well. So it's just been a really tough year for our family. Grandpa, his sister recently passed away, so I really need to go home, and I hope to go home next month. So cross your fingers, cross your toes, cross your arms, cross your hearts, and send me positive vibes that I can go home so I can see my grandma and be with her and check in on her. And it'll be nice to be able to film stuff for both of the channels and take my grandma plant shopping. So I wanted to share with you my beautiful plant of the week. I don't know if I'll find anything this week in Las Vegas. I highly doubt it, and I'll just be focusing on catching up editing for both of the channels since I took a few days off for the flea market. I also wanted to share with you, speaking of the flea market, the post that I made. I have some thoughts about being a vendor at a flea market, so if you guys are interested on seeing what my day looks like, I will share the vlog of the day on the vlog channel, and you can see me get up early in the morning, set up my booth, break down the booth. I share the whole day on the vlog channel as my daily vlog, so it'll eventually get up there. Subscribe to that channel for daily vlogs. Between both channels, you get to see different points of view and what it was like to be a vendor. I do have to say it's very hard work. The day before the vending day, which was Saturday, I loaded up my car with all of my stuff, so shout out to my MB for hauling everything and also taking me back and forth to Vegas. I had 2 6-foot-long tables along with my 10x10 tent and my little camping chair. It's not little, it's heavy, as well as the 2 plant stands for my subscribers. I took that as well to style plants for sale in the front of my tables. All of that, including the basket of poles, which I will share with you in a second, was in the back seat. And then in my trunk, I had my big bin of my art along with another tray of plants and a basket full of everything that I needed to vend, like packages, thick boxes, things like that. So my whole trunk was filled. And then in the front seat floor, I had more plants, and Abby was in the passenger seat. So it literally, everything fit perfect in my car, but I had to get up early before the sun to get ready, load up the things that I couldn't load up in my car the day before, like plants and my resin art. Got down to the flea market 2 hours before opening, and let me tell you, I got there late. I thought I got there half an hour before the check-in time closes, but when I got there, all of the carts were already taken, most of the vendors were there, and I had to do like one run by walking my things. So now I know I need to go 3 hours early so that I can get a cart, because I ended up doing one load by foot and I eventually got a cart. So that was unfortunate, and I was rushing to set up. Now, from taking my things from my car and setting it up, like the tent and the tables, going back and forth and putting it up, took me half an hour. But then setting up my art took a while, and I was rushing, and at 9 o'clock when the market opened, I just barely set up all of my art, and I wanted to run to use the restroom even if I didn't have to, because I'm vending by myself and I can't just leave my booth in the middle of the market day and have my stuff there unattended. So it was just very rushed. So what did I learn? To go there 3 hours before opening, not 2, so that you can get a cart and that you can take your time to get everything where you want it to be. So that was hard work. And also, not to mention, the tent and the tables weigh 30 pounds each. And after the market is done, so about 15 minutes prior to closing, I started breaking down, and I went to get a cart when the market closed at 5, and all of the carts were taken. And I asked, when could you start taking the carts in? They told me people start taking it an hour before closing. So now I learned, if I can have somebody go and get a cart for me, maybe, but they hold your ID so that when you bring the cart back, you get your ID. Maybe I can go and run and get one before closing, so when 5 o'clock hits, I can just roll my stuff out and not have to walk it out until I find a cart, because I think I did 1 or 2 trips walking, and then a cart finally became available, and I got everything to my car. So that was another half an hour to get everything to the car and packed. I got home, then I had to unload everything. I just left it in the front of my house by the plant babies, and then the next day, Monday, I just put everything on the opposite side of my studio where my washer and dryer is. So luckily I have the space to have it stored here, and then have all of this outside space. If you guys watch my plant tours, I have a lot of outside space. My old apartment right up the street that I lived in a couple years ago was on the 2nd floor, and the door is facing the courtyard. There was no patio, no balcony, no bathroom to have any plant at all, because there was no window. So imagine if I was in that situation, like I would not be able to have everything that I have out here, and well, that's pretty sad. So I'm very thankful of my space, that I can house all of my flea market things on the opposite side of the house. I can have all of this space to film for the channel, so I'm very thankful in that sense, and also that I can keep my plants out here all year long. So my experience with the flea market, I need to come early, and you know, even at the end of the day, I didn't want to let the heavy things sit in my backseat of my car, so I forced myself to unload right away. And these are heavy things, and I woke up Monday morning with a sore right hand. Ever since I started like kickboxing training at my old job at the gym that I was working at like 2 years ago, I was doing trades where I would teach my kickboxing trainer Pilates, and then he would train me kickboxing, and I used to hit the mitt all the time. And like at one point my hand started to hurt, and ever since then I have chronic pain that shoots up my hand. Every now and then it comes, so if I like overuse my hand, whether it's sewing, editing, or doing things like carrying heavy things, I woke up with a lot of pain on Monday, and it was with me all night. So that was very unfortunate. Besides getting up before the city and it's dark, leaving my house, having to load all those heavy things, unload, put up, break down, load up, unload. It's like a full day. It's like over 12 hours. I still would do it though. I thought about it in bed. Actually like came into the house that night from unloading my car. I sat on my love seat and I fell asleep, and I didn't eat dinner. I was so burnt out. It is physically exhausting. So I give any flea market vendor props for doing this on a regular basis. It is not easy and it's physically demanding. But being there and being able to communicate with people in the city, and it was interesting. I asked every person who came to my booth where they were coming from, and not everybody was local. There was a bunch of people that I met that bought from me that was from different parts of the states. So that was also interesting. And also there were people coming from like 50 miles away, so you just never know who's gonna come to the flea market the day you're there. So I don't want to just base my thoughts and judgment of my flea market experience based on one Sunday. I think I want to do it for 1 year before I can give an overall general idea of what I feel like it is to be a flea market vendor. But what I do want to say is that I love every minute being able to talk to the public, especially being in isolation for so long. And I've never done anything like this before. I've never vended. I've never had to sell something that I've made before, except like talking about my plants for sale on the channel or my merchandise on the channel. But being able to put myself out there in the public was also another thing, and to feel confident enough to put my art out for sale. So I give artists credit, I give flea market vendors credit, and I give myself credit for putting myself out there. It is not easy. So I hope you guys enjoy just hearing my thoughts about the flea market and my day, and I will be going back out there and doing it again when I'm back from Las Vegas. So stay tuned. I will be announcing dates, and I would love to meet you if you are in the area. Come down. I want to share with you my plants. So these are my beautiful plant poles, and I made a lot for the flea market. I made smaller ones like this, so if you have a small planter or a small plant baby that needs to be staked, these are the sizes that I make for them. So a lot of my bathroom plants on my plant shelf are staked up like this, like my little philodendrons. And then I made a bunch with just the flat board and not the round poles. It's a lot easier for me to make it this way, and I sealed it before wrapping it up with coco coir with the Thompson's water seal. So my hand also probably got sore from doing all of the wrapping and the twisting. I made like 30 poles, believe it or not, and it took me a long time. So if you guys are in the area and are looking for plant poles, then you can support the channel by purchasing your plant poles through me. I'm gonna go through the collection when I'm back next week and look at every single plant, and if they need staking, I will go ahead and stake them up. And eventually, very soon, I believe, you're gonna see a video of me staking up 10 of my plants, and that's gonna be really fun with all of the plant poles that I've made a couple weeks ago. So I am a big advocate of staking up your plants if they are climbers, and you will see like on the plant tours and things like that, that the leaves of my plant babies get really big from climbing up. I mean, if you see like it even extended past the pole. So I'm gonna have to like restake that one. In fact, this is one of them that I restake and it's still passing the pole. Staking up plants, my goal is to still find a planter for George so I can put him back together. And I know one of you guys mentioned that my bento was stuffed in that planter, but that was the planter that I had at the moment. It was in the middle of lockdown, so if I can find a bigger planter for my bento, I would like to do that as well. So I'm in the middle of plant shopping for planters for my bigger babies, and then I would like to wrap George's pole with coco coir and like restake him up once he's put back together. So just wanted to share with you the plant poles that I made for the flea market. And I never ever seen plant poles for sale ever at a flea market, so it's very interesting. And I've never ever seen someone selling plant babies propagated from their plant collection at a flea market. It's usually just retail vendors who sell a lot of common plants for cheap is what I'm usually seeing. It's very rare that I come across a vendor that is selling rare plants unless I'm at a plant show, which I hope that will eventually happen maybe next year, because I got some really cool, interesting, weird plant babies from my local plant show, and it's like my favorite time of the year for the channel. So I wanted to share with you that. I did trim back my Philodendron bipenifolium because they're getting really overgrown. So if you guys are interested in getting cuttings from my mother plant, like take a look at how gorgeous. So huge, so gorgeous, and they all have aerial roots. So if you are interested in this Philodendron, I am propagating it. So if you're in the US mainland and would love to purchase a propagated baby, reach out to me. Any of the plant babies I'm more than willing to take from if it doesn't ruin the look. But this is what I currently cut about 2 days ago, and I'm rooting it up, and I can definitely sell this to anybody who's interested that lives in the US mainland. So that is my thoughts on this past Sunday, and I've been loving creating art with my plant collection, and it was so interesting to hear someone's thought that is not into plants look at my art and just kind of hear the feedback. But I think you would not be able to appreciate my art, especially for like the rare blooms or a night blooming cactus that only comes once a year at night and dies by the morning. I think you wouldn't really appreciate it unless you're a crazy plant person. So it was interesting to just hear people's feedback on my art, but everybody was really nice. So if I met you at the flea market and you are watching the channel, please comment down below that you found me at the flea market. Everybody that came up to the booth, I promoted the channel, which was like very fun for me. And no pressure to buy my art, but you can subscribe to the channel because it's free. So if any of you guys came across me because of the flea market, sound off in the comment down below, and welcome to the channel. So that's gonna wrap up today's video. If you're new, welcome to the channel. Subscribe for daily uploads between the main channel Monday to Thursday and the vlog channel Friday, Sunday. You get a video each and every day. It's been nice to be home for 16 days. I haven't had that in a long time. I've been kind of trending on 7 to 9 days at home between my Las Vegas work week, so I've just been enjoying it. I will see you soon. My next week Thursday's check-in video will be coming from Las Vegas. You can find me every day on this amazing platform. I hope I inspired you to get out there, try something new. I am enjoying this new journey of mine. I never ever thought I would be saying all of the things I said in today's video with my new adventure at the beginning of the year, but thanks to COVID, I am. So always try to look at the positive side of things. I know it's just been like a crazy year, and I'm just trying to make the most of it for what few months we have left, and let's see what next year brings. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I will see you soon. Until next time, aloha from Santa Monica, California. Bye.